You don't need perfect trays or rotating shelves to do Montessori, and I'm going to show you exactly what real Montessori moments look like in everyday mom life. I've been living Montessori principles for years now, and I discovered that the most powerful learning happens without any special setup at all. Just real life, hands-on experiences that don't need you to entertain or instruct. This approach took me from feeling like I was failing at providing enough activities to actually seeing deep, focused learning happening naturally throughout our day. The secret isn't in having more materials, it's in recognizing the learning that's already happening and creating simple invitations for your child to explore. I'm going to share 5 specific ways I weave Montessori into real chaotic mom life. No shelf rotation required. So you can stop feeling guilty about not doing enough and start seeing the incredible learning that's already happening. And there's one shift in how you see your role that will completely transform how independent your children become. Here's what nobody tells you about Montessori at home. You can have all the wooden toys and perfectly organized shelves, but still feel like you're not doing it right because your child isn't sitting quietly with trays for hours on end. I remember spending one Sunday evening rotating all of the materials on the shelf, setting up what I thought would be an engaging week of activities. Monday morning came and my daughter walked right past every carefully chosen tray and instead spent 30 minutes just brushing her doll's hair. My first thought was, I failed again, until I realized she was doing exactly what Montessori intended. Real, focused, imaginative work. A Montessori moment isn't about the perfect activity setup. It's about any time your child is learning through real, hands-on experience. And there's a specific reason why we've been making this so much harder than it needs to be. We've turned Montessori into another thing on our endless to-do list. Rotate the shelf, set up new activities, create invitation stations. But Dr. Montessori never intended for parents to become full-time activity coordinators. Most of us think we need to constantly provide new stimulation and perfectly curated experiences. But children learn best when they can choose what captures their interest and explore it deeply, not when we're orchestrating their every learning moment. The breakthrough happens when you realize Montessori is about building a mindset, not maintaining a Pinterest perfect setup. It's about creating an environment where children can be truly independent, without you having to hover and manage every moment. There are 3 invisible forces that create real Montessori moments, and once you see them, you'll start seeing learning opportunities everywhere. The first is slow transitions. Let them finish one thing before moving on to the next thing. Last week, we were already 5 minutes late for an appointment when I noticed my son completely absorbed in lining his cars up by color. My old instinct was to say, "Come on, we need to go." But instead, I gave him 2 more minutes to complete his pattern. The focus and satisfaction on his face when he was done reminded me that his internal timeline matters more than my external schedule. The second ingredient is an environment at their level. A setup where they can reach, use, and return things without needing your help. This isn't about buying special furniture. It's about making your existing space work for small hands. The third layer runs the deepest. Freedom within boundaries. Sounds contradictory, right? Children choose between A or B, not whatever you want, whenever you want. This gives them autonomy while maintaining structure, which is the perfect balance for developing decision-making skills. These ingredients aren't visible on Instagram, but they shape your child's independence day after day. You don't need to create them, you just need to protect the space for them to unfold. These 5 strategies will help you weave Montessori into your everyday without adding more to your to-do list. I'm going to save the most transformative for last. It's the approach that actually changes how you see your role as a parent. Strategy 1. Snack station autonomy. Create a low basket in the fridge with pre-approved snacks, only available between meals, so not too close to meal times. Let your children plate their own meal portions, so they can learn to decide how much they want to eat. Here's why this works. Children have natural hunger and satiety cues that we often override with our anxiety about whether they're eating enough. When we trust them enough to self-regulate, we're teaching practical life skills and early lessons in listening to their own body's wisdom. I'll admit the first week of this felt terrifying. My daughter took exactly 3 strawberries and 2 crackers for her snack, and my mind immediately went to, she's not eating enough. But I watched her eat every single piece mindfully, and then returned to her plate satisfied. She knew what her own body needed better than my worried calculations. This builds the foundation for healthy eating habits because it's based on internal cues rather than external pressure. When children feel trusted with food choices, mealtimes become less stressful for everyone. Strategy 2. Outdoor nature walk. Walk at their pace, not yours. Bring a plant ID app to name what you find. a bottle to collect specimens to explore later. Sometimes draw what you saw, make leaf rubbings, or use what they find in art projects. Here's the Montessori principle. Nature provides the richest sensorial material, and following the child's interest creates the most meaningful learning. A magnifying glass used to live permanently in my bag when the kids were younger, so we can inspect leaf shapes and insects up close. We used to do this constantly in the UK, and I've tried to bring it with us everywhere we've lived. Last month, my son spent 15 minutes examining a rock he had picked up on our walk, feeling its texture, its weight, examining the intricate patterns on it. That single rock taught him more about geology than any worksheet ever could. The magic happens when you resist trying to turn everything into a lesson. Let them wonder, explore, make their own discoveries. Your job is to simply facilitate their natural curiosity. Strategy 3. Tidy up habits. One activity at a time. Put it away before the next. We've had our fair share of battles on this one, especially as they get older, but I don't force it. We do it together when needed until it becomes second nature. Children actually crave order because it creates internal peace. When their environment is chaotic, their minds feel chaotic too. By maintaining simple systems, we're giving them the gift of mental clarity. My kids still need reminders, but now they do it most of the time without being asked. The key was patience and modeling rather than demanding. When I stopped making tidying up a power struggle and just made it part of our natural rhythm, everything shifted. This isn't about perfection. It's about respecting our shared space and encouraging them to be independent. When children can find what they need and return it to its place, they feel capable and confident. Strategy 4. Accessible materials, no pressure. All of their activities are on low shelves that they can access themselves. We don't rotate weekly, they just explore what they're drawn to. We don't force Montessori work at home because both kids go to a mainstream school. So Montessori is a lifestyle, not a curriculum. Here's what took me years to understand. Sometimes they go months without touching a Montessori material, and that's okay. Learning isn't linear, and children have natural seasons of intense focus, followed by periods of integration. Last autumn, my daughter ignored every puzzle and practical life activity for 6 weeks. I started questioning everything. Had I set it up right? What was I doing wrong? Had she outgrown Montessori? Then suddenly she spent an entire Saturday morning working with the binomial cube, building and rebuilding again, with deeper concentration than I'd ever seen. She wasn't ready before, and pushing her would have killed her natural interest. This strategy teaches us to trust children's internal wisdom about what they need to learn and when. Our job isn't to push, it's to prepare the environment and then step back. Strategy 5. On-the-go language games. I Spy games are the best for building sound awareness, which is especially helpful when they're little. In shops, we spot letters, describe shapes, describe smells, and name textures. I try to use rich, specific vocabulary like tiger lily instead of flower, or burgundy instead of red. The transformative part is we play with sensorial words too. Rough, smooth, heavy, light. This is not just about drilling vocabulary. It's about language immersion through real-world sensory experiences. Just the other day at the grocery store, my son picked up a fruit and said, "This one feels very velvety, but that one feels more like leather." The precision of his language came from years of rich vocabulary woven into daily interactions, not from flashcards or formal lessons. Every moment is a language opportunity. Describe textures when folding laundry, name colors while cooking, discuss temperatures during bath time. This is how children develop sophisticated communication skills. Language develops best in meaningful contexts where children can immediately use and understand new words. You're not teaching vocabulary, you're living it together. Here's what happens when Montessori becomes a way of seeing things rather than a set of activities. You stop feeling the pressure to set up the perfect activity, and you start noticing the incredible learning already happening all around you. You see moments of real focus, even in mess, even with less. Your children start making independent choices because the environment actually allows them to succeed. Most importantly, you trust their natural learning instincts instead of constantly questioning whether you're doing enough. Just last week, I watched my daughter spend 40 minutes scrubbing her trainers clean in a basin on the balcony floor. It wasn't an activity that I had planned or orchestrated. She saw me cleaning my trainers and she wanted to do it in her own way. The concentration, the problem solving, the pure satisfaction on her face reminded me that Montessori isn't something you do, it's something you see. And slowly, when you keep doing this, something beautiful happens. Your children become genuinely independent because they've had thousands of opportunities to make small choices and see real results. They develop internal motivation because their interests have been honored rather than directed and forced upon them. Now that you've seen how Montessori invitations can spark independent learning, there is something else that makes all of the difference. Remember that these moments only work if you're grounded yourself. And there's one monk-inspired practice that helps me calm down even when everyone else is melting down. Click here to learn the simple rituals I use to stay centered in chaos, so you can be the calm, present parent your children need you to be. Which of these strategies feel most doable for your family right now? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing how you're bringing Montessori into your real everyday life.